Could the current global political climate be the precursor to a potential conflict between superpowers? The world stage is currently playing host to a high-stakes drama, with tensions simmering between Russia, China, and the United States. Russia's military situation in Ukraine is precarious. Their forces are suffering significant losses, with the Ukrainian intelligence chief predicting an end to the war come spring. But the question remains, will Russia run out of military resources before achieving its goals? Meanwhile, China is bolstering its power with a growing nuclear arsenal, posing systemic challenges that the world cannot ignore. Their actions are shrouded in a cloak of secrecy, causing unease and uncertainty among the global community, turning our gaze towards the Korean Peninsula. North Korea's missile tests have increased in frequency and strength. The United States has taken a defensive stance, warning of retaliation if these tests continue. With a single day seeing as many as 25 missile launches, the situation is escalating at an alarming pace. As the world watches these unfolding events with bated breath, the tensions between these superpowers are palpable. The chessboard is set, and the players are making their moves. As tensions rise, the question that arises is, are we on the brink of a potential conflict? To understand the current situation, we must delve into the recent past. Our journey begins in the spring of 2023, with Russia's military involvement in Ukraine. Major General Kyrylo Budanov of Ukraine's military intelligence predicted a decisive battle marking the end of the war. Russia, he said, had suffered significant losses, enough to potentially exhaust its military resources. We then turn our gaze to China, expanding its nuclear arsenal at a pace that has raised eyebrows across the globe. At the NATO summit in 2021, President Biden underscored the need for solidarity in the face of these systemic challenges posed by China. The response from China? Accusations of slander and interference. Our timeline brings us to North Korea in 2022. Despite sanctions, the nation launched a staggering 84 missiles, including 25 in a single day. The trajectory of these missiles became more threatening, with one even passing over Japan. President Biden warned of defensive action, urging China to discourage further tests. These events have resulted in a tense global political climate, with the potential for conflict looming. Now that we understand the situation, let's summarize the key points. Our world today is marked by increasing tensions, particularly among three major powers: Russia, China, and the United States. In the European theater, Russia's military situation in Ukraine is tenuous, with predictions of a resource shortage by spring. Meanwhile, the United States and its allies watch closely, their support for Ukraine unwavering. On the other side of the world, China is flexing its nuclear muscles. Their expanding arsenal and lack of transparency pose systemic challenges, causing unease among nations worldwide. Adding another layer to this complex situation, we've got North Korea. Despite sanctions, it's been relentlessly testing missiles, with at least 84 launches in 2022 alone. This raised red flags, prompting the United States to warn of defensive action should these tests continue. These key points lay the groundwork for our understanding of the potential conflict. In the face of potential conflict, it is essential to know how to protect oneself. If a nuclear blast were to occur, there are immediate steps you can take to increase your chances of survival. Firstly, find shelter as quickly as possible. This isn't about finding the perfect spot, it's about acting fast. If you're indoors, stay there. Basements or the center of a building offer the best protection. If you're outside, get inside the nearest building quickly. If that's not possible, lie flat on the ground and cover your head and neck. Distance and barriers between you and the blast are your friends. Secondly, stay away from windows. Glass can shatter from the blast, causing injuries. So, find a spot in your shelter away from any windows. Finally, stay sheltered until authorities say it is safe to leave. The most dangerous fallout is during the first few hours after the blast, when radiation levels are at their highest. A good rule of thumb is to stay sheltered for at least 24 hours, but follow instructions from local authorities. While the possibility of conflict is unsettling, knowledge and preparedness can make all the difference.